democratic system, meaning it is in a voting process, like an electoral, like sort of like you. I don't know how better to explain that, but like you, it's very fair, it's very equal. Every country has its own say. If like even if you're a horribly corrupt official, you only have one vote, and like there are like still like 100 different countries that could still say no. Like either way, you're not going to be able to further your political agenda if you choose to like sign up for this for our policies. So yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to get if you stand up.
I just want to answer
Yes,
something. Do you elect the people that's representing your country in the United Nations? We don't. So we're not choosing that people that should apply this.
Did we say that we don't elect them?
No, but like
So
if
then
he's
why
no,
are you
he's
saying
comparing
that we
it.
don't do that and then
He's comparing it to the United Nations. Okay, so the United Nations aren't elected, like nor the Security Council or the Assembly.
Are you saying that the
Can we
United
just-
Nations does not work?
It has proven its inefficiency. So, like,
Could you please expand further on that point?
you see Syria, actually, I don't think it's working well.
That's the personal opinion.
Okay, so for you, Syria is a wonderful country.
Did I say that?
Can we just get a little bit of order here, please? So, fine. Can I ask speakers to come up to the podium, please, and pose questions that way, and then give an opportunity to the other side to answer, also by coming up to the podium. All right, otherwise it'll be a free fall. Okay, so yes, so can we have the next question from the proposition, please?
So one of your speakers said that censorship would be hiding information from the public. But the question to you is, how do you think, like, if you are lying to them, how are you informing them? Are lies informative? Would you want someone to lie to you?
So just on that specific question.
Thank you for your question. One of your speakers said, I think Anna, that media should spread love and peace, and we should like depict the world with peaceful work. Isn't that lies? Do you actually believe that the media should depict that image of the world? Do we actually live in a peaceful world that the media should depict?
Yes, an answer that, please. Do we not live in a world that is already violent and unlovable? That's the best way of asking.
Well, terrorism feeds off fear-mongering, and the fact is that what you said was, wait a second, you said that there is no happiness, that there is no love. Well, I think that is the thing that after the attacks in Brussels, people were posting images of love, of their flowers that they put, of the candles, of these messages on the pavement. Is that not love? Is that not more important than the fact that they scare you? Is that not more important than the fact that they kill people? The fact that we are stronger than that?
So my question is addressed at the third speech, which asserted that media actually spreads hate. And the example of Brussels was brought up. I want to bring you to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a few days ago, in which there was an incident that occurred and someone was shot and killed tragically, leaving a family without a father. I saw the media band together with the people of Baton Rouge and the people of the United States to spread love for that family. So my point is, how exactly does the media spread racism and fear and terrorism all the time? Sometimes the media reports and people say racist things. Sometimes the media spreads love. We can't shut down the media just because sometimes things get out of hand. The media has been used to spread love. So my point of contention is that the media only wants profits and only casts blames and always oppresses minorities, and they're emphasizing hate. When I've seen the media so many times emphasize love.
I don't think it's either we didn't make it clear enough in our policy or they didn't hear it, but the kind of policy that we implemented was like one way you oversaw the media. It didn't mean that you were always censoring out everything. If there are cases, like the example she brought in Louisiana, of people showing solidarity, people showing love, we're okay with that, we support that. We're talking about cases where we have places like Fox News and like, I don't know, whatever examples that my speaker brought up. Like those are the kind of like disproportionate harms and disproportionate issues that we're trying to censor out. So we're trying to censor out things like lies. If we see like things like loving comments or like people banding together to fight terrorism, we support that. Like no one can contest with that. And that's not what we've done at all. Thank you.
Mark, I see you just criticized Fox News. Are you not aware that hate use of Fox News hinders speech?
No.
And also, how dare you say that World War II was redundant and that we're still not affected by and we're still not hurt and affected by the 6 million Jews that were killed during World War II. How dare you say that does not apply anymore? The proposition is scapegoating the media, blaming it for promoting racial injustice. Yet they seem to forget that it is politicians who promote this injustice. And lies, for example, Farage during Brexit with his boss, and the Putin persecuting journalists. The media is not only informing people of what goes on in the country, the media is only informing people of what's going on in the country, not brainwashing them like the government does. The government would be the one who would be inflicting this censorship. Therefore, they would be able to control all the information that goes out to the people.
Okay, so you said that the government is brainwashing people. Yes, but they're doing it because of your policy. You're saying that there should be no censorship, and that's why governments could put in. I'm talking.
I'm going to speak.
You're not.
Governments are using your policy against you. You're saying that there should be no censorship of the media, and that's why governments can put anything out there. They can say that Ukrainians are fascists, and that's not a problem, because you said that it's not a problem. Everyone should share their opinions. That's what they're doing. And that's why they're
Yes, but who would control the media?
I'm so sorry. Also, you said that we're violating people's rights and that we're preventing people from speaking out. We're never preventing anyone from speaking out. Anyone can talk, but they can't say lies. Because you don't want to hear a person be racist to anyone, because that's, you're discrediting your goal of people's freedom. Because when you say like racist things to another person, you're violating his freedom and his rights, and you can't do that. That's not appropriate. Thank you.
Let's talk about racism. See, the proposition did not differentiate between topics of political debate and racist comments. Sometimes people have political views. They don't believe that all immigration is good. That is a horrible view. Some people believe it is racist, but that is a political view and that is out there. If the media, and if people don't feel free to share that, how can we have an honest political debate? When someone brings something like that up in the media, that allows other media sources to come in and say, here's why we should have immigration, and here's why it helps our society. If people never brought up those kinds of topics because they were always censored out, there wouldn't be this debate, and people would not be banding together and trying to allow the Syrian refugees into their country and allowing them in. The fact that people are against them riles up even more support for these horrible crises. The media, despite which opinion they're spreading, does spread information and does cause people to become more politically aware. So I would just like you to respond to differentiating between racist hate speech and actual political beliefs that sometimes are tied to race and immigration.
If you have have a personal opinion and it is posted in something like the opinions pages of like the New York Times, then that's different from posting on a headline news that like something outrageous, something disproportionate, something that is a lie. It is completely different to post and like your own personal opinion in the newspaper. That's something that we're okay with. Like we're talking about what we're telling you about here is when like arguably credible news sources like post lies, and that's something we're willing to censor out. If it is personal opinion, like an individual saying that, oh, I think, I don't know, something that may be contestable.
Can I just ask a clarifying question? Can't journalists express their personal opinion? Why can't they express their personal opinion just because they work for the New York Times?
They can, you see, they can. But the problem is, we still have our laws that we need to abide to. So even if there was a journalist, right, we're okay with him posting his or her own views on stuff. But you know, there comes to a time where there are laws. So if you do post something racist or something like sexist, you're going to be apprehended, or you're going to be arrested, right? That's the role of the law. That is not the role of like our organization that operates on the censorship of the media. It's completely different things. Thank you. Let me ask a question.
Can we just change the topic? It's been like 5 minutes
Yeah,
and
that's
we've
fine.
not about the same question.
Okay,
Okay,
so maybe a different question then.
I'd like to address 2 points where you've been one-sided, like for Kate and Anna. So first, Anna, you talked about the Brussels flag. You're lucky I live here. That's an amazing thing. Then also, I'd like to say that during the lockdown, censorship wasn't live. So during like 2 days, the only information I had was rumors. I heard once that there was like a van with 10 terrorists with machine guns in it. Okay, I'm not sure is that true, but that's what censorship is leading. It's leading to no. I think that not knowing is scarier than knowing things that can be scary. Then the second thing I'd like to say to escape, like you're saying that Russia. Yeah, Kate, you're saying that Russia is allowing all anti-gay thing to appear in the press. But you forget to say that Putin is not allowing the pro-gay people to speak. That censorship is applying censorship for what he believes is in the national interest. So I know your opinion, and I don't think that we're very objective.
Okay, would you like to respond? Okay, so we're just going to get a response to that.
Thank you for giving me an excellent point. You said the fact that you were scared because of the false information that there was a bus with terrorists in it and with guns. That is the information that we want to censor. That is the entire point of this debate. In the national crisis, we censor that kind of information that scares people.
Thank you. Just a point there. So the point is information that scares people should be censored. Is that right?
No, not scares people. That this was not true. This was not true information. We do not want to put that.
Like it was untrue information that had an intention to scare people, which is why we're not okay with it.
Okay, so we want to censor information which is untrue. Yes, and which is designed to scare. So can you respond to that, please?
So during the lockdown, the true information was cut. If you want to let the true information arrive to the people, it didn't happen. And I didn't receive it by like a newspaper or I don't know, like a website. It was like a messenger. So there's no way you can censor every message going like in the whole country. Actually,
We're censoring the media.
yeah, but you're telling that if you're censoring those information, it applies to media. But those information I received it not by the media, so it's not relevant.
Okay. Okay, if you just want, we're just going to have another 5 more minutes, I think, on this, on either side, and then we're going to open the floor to questions.
Can I point out that the proposition got the first word?
Okay, that's fine, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so Felix, you said, for example, that gay people are not allowed to speak out. They are, because you're misinterpreting the definition of media. Definition of
In
media.
Russia. In Russia.
In Russia, they can speak out, they can write on blogs, they can write on social media, no one's repressing them. Yes.
No one's harassing the gays in Russia.
Why? Guys,
Because
this
you're
is a
saying-
very bad trait. I'm talking, I'll finish, then you'll speak. Thank you. The problem in Russia is that gays are repressed, but they're repressed because of your laws. Since there's no censorship, Putin is allowed to spread his views. So he's saying that gay people are bad. He's saying that gays are immoral, blah, 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 blah. He's doing that because of your law, because he can say any information. And since he's putting out this information on every channel, on every newspaper, and every book, people begin to think this way. And that's the problem. If you don't censor this information, you're creating huge generalizations. You can't do that because then people get hurt. Thank you.
Just to clarify, when you're referencing your laws, what you mean is the law that allows media outlets to say whatever they want to say, and for people to express whatever political ideological view. I think what you're saying is that that's what you're proposing, aren't you? You're proposing that people should be allowed to say whatever they like. So the example here is that Putin is allowing people to vent anti-gay rhetoric or feelings. So what does what do you say about that? What does she say about that?
Okay, so I think many times we've excluded hate speech. That hate speech is allowed to be censored. So this sexist, racist, anti-gay. People who are against institutions like gay marriage or transgender bathrooms, that is an honest political debate. By putting your views out there, you invite other people to respond with their views. When we talk about gay marriage, people say, I think it should happen. People say, I think we don't. Then there's an honest political debate. Hate speech is uncalled for. I think we've established that at this point. The proposition has said no hate speech. We've agreed, no hate speech. So if we're talking about an honest political debate, I think anyone should be allowed to express their views, whether they're the president of Russia or whether they're sitting at their home at their computer writing to a blog.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. I think we should end it there, yes, because otherwise it will continue forever. I think, again, it's been a very brilliant, at times very heated debate. I'm sure you all agree. So maybe we could give a round of applause to both speakers. We will allow the audience watching a chance to ask a few questions. Okay, we have to be very brief because I think we're running a little bit ahead of time. So maybe just a couple of questions, yes, for again either team. So, okay.
Can I ask one question and make a second?
Yes.
Okay. So first, I'd like to make a statement to the opposition. Do you realize that, for example, in countries like the United States, you have a lot of people are influenced by the media? For example, Fox News, which I know we're always talking about, but too many people listen to Fox News, and that leads to people voting for extremist candidates. And for example, in the first Paris attack on the 11th of November on the Charlie Hebdo magazine, Fox News said that Paris was a no man's land where everybody was shooting each other. We had thousands of cameras in Paris. And tourism dropped in France, in Paris especially, because some people thought that Paris was a war zone. Which I lived in Paris, and I mean, I could go buy my croissant, my baguette, an impact on French economy.
Okay, there you go. So, yes.
But what we would like with media is totally available for people is to have both sides of an issue, and also by shutting Fox News or something like this, people that feel represented by Fox News will feel hidden, and they're like a large part of the American opinion. So, do you think that when you like cut the voice of millions of people, they would react more aggressively? That's what we're scared of. It would like create what they don't want, instability. Like it's like if you want to talk about Paris, you have the suburbs of Paris, that the mostly for immigration population of the suburbs are tense, are aggressive because they feel that we don't talk about them and they don't have a voice. So we would like everyone to have a voice, even the more extreme far, extreme left, the most closed-minded and the most open-minded. Because if you cut someone's voice, he would go further in his voice because he would be convinced. If you don't allow everyone to respond to each other, there is no way you can convince. And convince is the final purpose of democracy.
Very short question.
Okay, just very briefly then, yes?
Just
This is a question to the proposition.
So, what kind of profession would would the people who are in the committee that decides on the censorship occupy? If they are like are they journalists or experts or
Yes,
teachers?
very good question. So in this independent organisation that you're proposing, who would comprise that organisation? What sort of background?
It's likely to be like a mixture of people like it's likely to be a mixture of people from like different areas of the country. Like, sorry, not different areas of the country, but like different expertise. So you have people like economists, philosophers, psychologists, different people coming together so they can compound and like, because like they're all experts in their sort of own area, which is why they can compound and come out with understand news that is accurate and understand news that is inaccurate. But we also recognize that it also comes down to like reporting, like whether or not the information is available in the first place. And if it's not available, then there's nothing we can do about it.
Okay, great. Couple more questions? Yes, the gentleman with the glasses.
And then what's gonna happen? You're just gonna have
Who is this? Sorry, who is this?
to the proposition.
The proposition, yes.
And then what? The United Nations is gonna be 5,000 members, just wondering if the news article is good or bad for the people.
So can you clarify the question?
How large would your community be, and what would exactly they would be doing on a daily basis?
How large would it be, and
The-
what exactly they would be doing?
Your United Nations of
Of the media.
yeah.
So United Nations of the media organisation. What exactly would it be doing?
Yeah, and what like how many members would you said expertise, psychologists, whatever. I just want to know like which region of like of the world gets more people, or like, everybody gets equally. It's just more of an understanding of like how the organization would work. And, like,
How would they go about monitoring the media and all of this?
First of all, I don't really understand how it has to do with the national crisis topic, but the amount of people is, like, it doesn't depend because all countries are invited, so it depends how many countries join, but since we think it's going to be about 99%, so there's going to be about like 5 or 6 people, so representatives of politics, history, economics, so that when they come up with rules and laws, they're not going to be biased, that they're going to take into account all of the areas. And so, like, the laws for the media are going to be accurate, they're not going to be biased.
So politicians of the particular country wouldn't represent part of the population representing that one political body. So the politicians, say a prime minister, could influence the people that represent that country in your organization.
Well, do you want to get up there, Marcus? Let's just continue with that.
No politicians, we're talking more like political analysts, people that study sort of politics, people that study economics and sociology and behavior of people, not politicians. Like, we think that there's also like quite a big danger here of like loads of politicians, yeah, they're screwed up.
Okay, so you don't believe Trump has a job? Yeah. Right, okay, fine. So,
Thank you.
okay, so political analysts, but not politicians. Okay, one more question maybe, or a couple more?
I have a question for
Yes, you should go ahead and start, yes. The question for?
for the opposition.
For the opposition?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
if no censorship should be able, we have a really good example on when no censorship is available in the United States, where there's actually a candidate, Trump, who spread lies. He says we should build a wall. Why should we build a wall? Have a wall ever worked? Did the Berlin Wall work? Did the Mall of China work to keep the Mongols out? No. And why should you put that? Why do you spread those words? Why should you keep the Mexicans out of a country when they actually build up the country in the first place?
You should write immigration in that.
Should you then have freedom of speech?
Okay, so I think I understand the gist of what you're saying. So I think what the argument is, that if people are allowed to... Quiet, please calm down. I think the question is that if people are allowed to express their own views, that might result in walls being built. Is that right? That may result in walls being built if people are allowed, like Trump, to express their views. That may result in physical walls being built. Sorry?
Other cultures, like
Yes, of other cultures. So you may have a negative view of Mexicans. They may build this wall against because of the freedom that you're allowing, which the opposition is allowing, the freedom that you're allowing for people to express their views. So is there something you can answer that? Since you're allowing Trump his viewpoints, doesn't that result in something negative?
Right, so I just want to re-emphasize that hate speech has been taken out. Hate speech is sometimes it is allowed in America, but we are not allowing it in this debate. But I think the following that Donald Trump has received, it does show that his views do represent a large group of the American people. And so by censoring out someone like that, we would be censoring out a large group of the American people. Just because people maybe haven't thought the issues through or don't really know what they're talking about or are just closed-minded, that doesn't mean that they don't have a right to express their views, that they don't have the right to vote according to their views. They have a right to express those views, and we shouldn't tell them that their views don't matter simply because we don't agree with them.
Okay.
So, just for Abby, disregarding opinions on Trump, I guess his opinions that his supporters could potentially believe. Do you think that they should be believing the false information, the false factual information about numbers of immigrants and numbers of people who are affected by different situations in America, that his numbers are just drastically off?
So sorry, can you repeat the question?
So I think what you were saying before was
You're talking about Trump spreading false information.
rather than
about-
his opinions being false in some people's eyes, he actually spreads factual information that has been proven
That's
to be
proven
false.
to be false.
So I'm not sure if you think that people should believe his false factual information or just believe his opinions.
I think every political candidate at least in the States and usually worldwide, has said things that are factually false. Many news sources have said things that are factually false. You see factually false things everywhere, and so I believe that it is the citizens' responsibility to decide for themselves, are the immigrants a danger to my society? Hopefully they decide no, or is this a problem, or have these statistics been exaggerated, or was this study conducted in a way that gives accurate representations? There are scientific methods such as peer-reviewed journals and those kind of things that help fact check, but it is the citizens' responsibility to decide whether they are believing something that's true, whether if they believe it's true, some people believe it's false.
Okay. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are running out of time. We're going to have to weigh up. Yes, weigh up in your mind which team you think has convinced you tonight. Okay. We'll take maybe one final question just to finish with. I hope maybe because I think Christian's already asked your question. So yes.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. I'd like to ask a question to the proposition.
To the who?
To the proposition.
To the proposition.
So, referring to what the House wants to do you classify media, the social media handles fall under your idea of censorship of media? And moreover, does targeting a organization that focuses solely on foreign media that you would originally censor, such as TV or newspaper, if they have access to those same forms of social media handles, do you believe that those outlets should be similarly censored when concerning them, or overall they support that media?
Excellent. Okay. So just a specific question about social media. What is your position in relation to social media? Should that be censored?
With regards to social media, I think we understand the role of social media, meaning that it is very much a platform for people to express their views, and we're okay with that. Meaning that we may have censorship at times if organizations, groups of millions and millions of followers post something like, turn up here to attack this Muslim community, something. If they have things like that, then we censor that. Otherwise, for the most part, I think we can have quite a bit of leeway in the way this organization chooses to censor things. And I think you have very much intelligent people that can make very much logical decisions. So, at the end of the day, social media will be censored, yes, but to a very small extent, it won't be relevant. For the most part, it'll be unaffected.
Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this evening's debate. I would like to thank once again, both teams for their hard work, their industry, their passion. Yes? And maybe Fiona, you can say a few words.
Thank you for your questions. We will now ask the speakers from both teams leave the room, yes, while we vote on tonight's outcome.
What's up,
Can we
Harry?
write it down?